Alright, what's going on, guys? Connor Unchained. We are back today. So I'm going to be bringing up a bunch of things about the market because as you guys have seen, as you guys know, Bitcoin is down 8%, 9%, 10%, whatever you want to call it today. Technically it's down 9% right now, but earlier when I was trying to record this, it was down 11. The market has been dumping and there's a lot of blood in the street. So I'm going to bring up a bunch of stuff here about altcoins, where you should be investing, why you should be looking now, and why you should be waiting, especially to if it can go even lower. Why this is going to be the golden opportunity to enter in the market if you have been on the sidelines, if you've been waiting. And again, I'm not talking about if it dips again tomorrow. Potentially, if this can drop way more over the next week, couple weeks, keep this on your radar because a lot of people are going to try to shake you out. They want you to sell your bags right here off of a tiny dip when this is part of crypto. So I want to start off just by showing you guys like previous cycles here, all right? So again, if you guys are familiar with the 4-year cycle theory, it's just a theory, even though it's been followed very strategically, honestly, without stopping. It's been following it like crazy outside of the last 3 to 6 months in crypto here. And basically it's been a close around 4 years for these previous cycles, to kind of begin and then end. If we go back to the cycle down here, if you go back to the bottom or the top of like the previous cycle, I'm pretty sure that was, sorry, I wasn't trying to make like a long explanation about this, but I feel like I have to now. So the top here, December 2013, this had a bear market for close to a year, year and a half, consolidation for a year, year and a half. And then where did the next cycle top out? December of 2017, so close to 4 years. Again, give or take maybe a couple months. And then we look at the same thing. We had a dip, came all the way down for a year, year and a half, consolidated for a year, year and a half. And also, too, in these previous cycles, the halving was hit. A few months after the halving hit is when we saw this parabolic run. Again, where did this top out at? Essentially, I guess the actual top was in November 2021, which is fairly close to 4 years, But what's different right here is Bitcoin has decided to touch all-time highs at least a month and a half before the halving. Again, if this was a normal cycle, we would have seen probably more volatility, price action, random shit happening down here. And when the Bitcoin halving hit, potentially it would have been still consolidating in this area and would have decided to run. My guess would have been August and September would have started if this was going to follow the previous cycles exactly. But as you guys can tell and as you know right now, this is not following cycles exactly. Mainly because of obviously the ETF, these inflows, multiple billions of dollars, flowing into Bitcoin pretty much daily. If not more than that, I don't even know how much. But bottom line, it's been moving the market very quickly to the upside over the last few months. Specifically since I literally started YouTube in like August, September 2023. It's just been low-key like up only outside of this minor dip, which if you guys have seen the channel, I'm very bearish short term. I've been bearish short term in a sense. I've been waiting for a heavy correction to actually just go all in on most of the altcoins that I've been waiting in. And again, I'm like 90% in the market, but I still want to allocate a little bit more into top altcoins. And I've been waiting for a long time now for a major correction to happen. And I just want to give you guys some perspective here. So again, if we go back to the previous cycles that I was talking about, so when you actually no, real quick. So obviously right now we're at all-time highs literally this morning and we've pulled back. But so if we look at these previous cycles, if we do the same exact thing from when, again, outside of the time frame idea that this cycle is a month and a half, oh my god, I can't even talk, bro, my bad. This cycle here, we're seeing price action shoot up a month and a half before the halving, technically like maybe 5 6 months, like literally early. And then if you take that into consideration, these two cycles, happened months after the halving. So if you take that time frame idea out of the equation here, just from when previous cycles came up, came back down, consolidated, and then they ran back up to touch their all-time highs, from their previous all-time highs here into their peak, I just want to examine this and show you guys real quick, just to show you guys where potentially we actually are in this bull run. I actually have been coming to the conclusion that we might be a lot earlier than normal. Obviously with this here, but I know a lot of people are calling for, like a hyper cycle, like this is gonna go into 2025, 2026, like no, I don't think that at all. I really think we actually could see some sort of major top probably by the end of this year, maybe early 2025 is going to be right around the top. And that's, in my opinion, that's actually been my opinion now for a while, but I've never had it 100% installed in my head that, this is the actual end. But after doing a lot more research on this stuff, I really do feel like I would rather time this market cycle earlier than later, because just if it follows any sort of similar metrics to the last one, as long as Bitcoin is breaking all-time highs, euphoric rallies are coming, Bitcoin is, trending pretty heavily, maybe 70K, 80K, 90K. I'm not even calling for over 100K in Bitcoin. If it happens, that's unbelievable, obviously. If not, as far as for a cycle right now, again, I'm very, very conservative with targets, not a moon boy by literally any means. So let's get into what I wanted to bring up right here real quick. So if we look at from the previous all-time high, when it was touched back here, and when it was touched now, just don't look at the percent. I'm not showing you the gain. Just look at the bars, like the time frames. So if we go to just this previous high, and this was the 2020 cycle, so last cycle, so this took about 30, 60, 90, 120, so just over 4 months. So let's say 5 months it took here. If you time it from this cycle, or if you time it from this top, but then if you want to go from the real final top, that was 345 days, all right? So that is close to a year. Let's just say what it is. What is it, like 11 months? 10 or 11 months we'll just put. So let's just do an average of 9 months, all right? Just for simplicity right now. So let's say that from where we were, technically where we are right now, in the previous cycle, we basically have this amount of time, close to 9 months, let's say, in comparison to this one, to really see, price action decide to break and do whatever it's got to do. If it's going to keep moving, if it's going to hit 100K, we have this much time for this to happen. And what I mean by that is, again, let's say it's 9 months from now. Because right now it's February. Or no, what am I saying? March. I'm like, it's literally my birthday, and I didn't even realize it. March 5th. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Let's say if we time it from simplicity purposes here, let's say 9 months. Again, it could go another couple months here, close to a year, and then top out. It could do it even earlier. We could see a euphoric run like crazy, and then an early dump back into another move. This bull market could do anything. But again, I'm trying to account for anything that could happen just for a general understanding here. So 9 months. And then this here, we got 9 months. All right. That's from March to, what did I just say, December. So again, give or take a couple months early or late is probably when we're going to see another euphoric run really hit in the market. And let's just go to the last cycle here, because I'm going to tell you guys why in a minute I'm bringing this up and why it's important. And so from this run as well, we had one of the first bull runs back in 2013, or the first runs that Bitcoin had, came down, consolidated, and it touched its previous all-time high here, and it also corrected as well. That's something else too. All three of these, right as all-time highs were touched, instant dump. But again, time frame wise, from when it touched here into when it actually peaked out, what was this one? 293 days. So that's what, maybe 10 months. So as you can see, if we just take the general consensus, let's just say 9 to 10 months here, 9 to 10 months here. If we do the same thing, 9 to 10 months here, it's looking like this potentially could top out maybe in between, I'd say November of this year, upwards of maybe January, February of 2025. But again, and when I say top out though too, it could be anything like this. We could see a major move to the upside initially for this bull run once it actually decides to break, come back down, have a huge run over 120K, come back down to like 90, 80K, then run again, and in the time frame of that, whatever it is, give or take a few months, it would be probably in between this area, in between maybe January, February 2025. And again, so the main reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because, again, if you guys are feeling like Bitcoin has dumped and you want to sell your bags because you feel like this is the top of the cycle, again, I'm trying to give you an unbiased idea of what potentially we still have coming. So if you feel like, again, this is the top, like Bitcoin actually is over, just look at, again, I guess just previous data, just to give you a rough idea of what potentially could be coming. And, and I don't want to say this is 100% early, but this is going to be any sort of the best entries that you can get in the market right now. Again, maybe not at current levels at 62.3, but if this can drop even more, it's going to be even better for these entries because, again, we're not even over all-time highs yet. And if you're in crypto here now, us in crypto, we're betting on Bitcoin doing this again. We are betting on crypto really running up. I'm not saying I'm not betting on a 250K Bitcoin, but we are betting on Bitcoin to eventually maybe pull back here, break through all-time highs, and really start cruising into new territory. So it's like, for me, it's like you almost have to go all in on these dips if you're here, because that is where the rest, or I guess everyone in crypto, if you're here, this is where the time to cash out, the time to be selling is going to be, again, because technically we can call this early right now. We are still fairly early for where this is gonna either come down to as far as for entries, and then also over the next few months, 6 months, 9 months, again, where this could potentially top out. Again, that's close to a year. I would not be surprised to see this really top out, like legitimately in 300 days from now. I mean, it's interesting because, again, I don't know. It's very hard to tell because it's like, if you look at previous cycles here too, the top happened December 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. The top happened November, just about 4 years after. But this one here, if we go by that logic and that time frame, 4 years from, let's say, November 2021, November 2022, November 2023, November 2024, November 2025. I can't even draw it out, it's so far. Let's say April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, probably right around here. I'm gonna doodle it. Right around this line. Again, depending on how you look at it, this would be the end of the top. As in, if we took this right here, if you were betting that this is going to be an exact 4-year cycle yet again, you're basically saying that this is going to happen yet again from here and kind of end in November of 2020, 2024? Wait, what am I saying? No, that's, I'm sorry, if we're going by the 4-year time frame, this is outside of what I was talking about earlier. You know, you can bet on November 2025 being an exit for if this is going to follow a 4-year cycle exactly. And outside of the halving, here being early, you know, still continuing to follow it. Price action would probably look way different than this. But as far as the top, like, you know, this would be, again, I don't want to say this is even similar to what it would be, but just to give you an idea that price action is probably going to move, do something, and this is the time frame area it would end. Versus, you know, if this is really 6 months, 7 months early in the cycle, you know, then we'd probably just see some sort of run up here and like a very early ending to the blow off top in this cycle. You know, this is just trying to give you guys some data here so you understand where we could be in the cycle. And I'm talking about like today though. Because again, if like you're really scared that you think this is the top for the market, just know that I do not believe that at all. I think there's a lot coming. There could be short-term downside, but again, I've been waiting for short-term downside, as in huge corrections, for months now. You know, that's all I've been waiting for, to be honest. You know, and if it comes, if this can go down to mid-50s, yeah, you bet I'll be talking, making a video, telling you guys to buy every possible thing that you can. Because in my opinion, for this to be the top of the literal bull run that technically still hasn't even majorly kicked off yet, I think it'd be silly. I think it'd be kind of ridiculous, to be honest. So I also want to pull something up too, because this is getting low-key toppy for, you know, the short term here, you know. Something I always like to check. Actually, where is it? Yeah, the fear and greed index on crypto. It's something very simple. When you see something like this, we're literally in extreme greed right now. This is a sign that there's probably going to be a pullback at some point. You know, and it has. Because, you know, even when Bitcoin was over here, it was pretty normal, pretty neutral. I remember it was in between like 50 and 60, maybe 40 and 50. Just right in the middle. You know, and every week since we had green candles, it's been up only. You know, this fear and greed index just starts trending to the side of greed here. And another thing too, you know what? I actually watched an Elio Trades video. Shout out to Elio Trades because I didn't realize this. Because I've been actually looking at different top signals. And I think it was Coin App Bot. Right here. Coin App Rank Bot. So yeah, this is a link every day. What it does is it shows you on Coinbase, you know, what ranking the Coinbase app is on the App Store. Because if you guys don't know, you know, a funny top signal over the last 2 cycles apparently has been when Coinbase is literally the number 1, maybe number 2 app on the App Store. That is usually a signal right around where the top of the last cycles were at. You know, and as you can see, I'm pretty sure, I think right here is like the number in which the ranking of it. This arrow is like how much it's, I don't know actually, all apps, finance apps. You know, I don't even know. I'd assume this number is all apps, like it's rank 84 in the App Store, period. I don't know if this means up 84. No idea, but I'm going by the number there. But again, if we just scroll back, like just to look at where it is. You know, it's showing 135, like rank 130 it looks like. Rank 163, 252. I mean, in my opinion, I don't know. I guess maybe that the App Store just it flips that quickly between apps, which I actually didn't realize that. But yeah, bottom line, this is just like a little simple signal, which I mean I should know how to use it and look at this, but yeah, I don't know. Well, again, bottom line though, with this, I'm actually going to be using this to potentially time any sort of major top in the market. I'd really like to see it. If Coinbase really does become like a top app again, like this really could end up it could end up showing the top very close to it. So again, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with this video. Because again, I'm like, welcome to crypto. If this is your first bull run, dumps like these are so common. These are actually kind of necessary for Bitcoin and just crypto in general to really continue. Seeing heavy dumps across the market, like that's part of the game. And that is why many people will tell you to have conviction. If you don't believe in a coin that you're holding, as in you don't believe that it's going to withstand major dumps and pumps and major dumps and pumps as it goes up, you're never going to make some of the big gains that you could have, if you just didn't jump out because of fear, or you didn't sell because price is too high. Even though, again, you can't go wrong taking profits, but in certain times, sometimes it's worth holding over a longer span of time than it is to be selling short term. So that's why I always talk about high conviction gems, because that's what I mean. As in coins that I've bought down here, or we've talked about, we've gotten down, I'm trying to think, like even here too, just different areas. As in you're getting into them, you are holding them until we have concluded that Bitcoin is pretty peaked out. That is when you're going to be selling, not the day of, because all coins usually are going to have their own rally outside of Bitcoin, ETH moving. But again, once that really, once you figure out that this is going to be a top, something like that, selling out, once your altcoins are really going up again, excuse me, that is going to be key. That's going to be very important. So that's what I wanted to talk about, guys, because again, in my opinion, I think it's still way too early in this cycle to be really panicking and worrying about your portfolio size. I think this is just time, if you're in positions that are up crazy, yeah, take some profits, skim some off the top if you want. But in my opinion, it's like, especially if dumps like this can continue, if this really can continue down, that's probably going to be the most bullish thing for like a reset in the market right now. Like if this does pull back, continues, literally like the white drawing I had up, does something like this, boom. It's probably going to go up, wick back down, push, boom, boom. We could see like something like that. I don't think it's going to look any sort of up only like that. It could go sideways, till the halving. After the halving, it booms again, boom, boom. It's a 2025, whatever. My drawings, in the long, big drawings like this, I can't do it, but you get the point. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys got something out of this, and I hope you guys haven't sold everything you got because of a 10% dip. It is very normal in the market here, guys. So that's just what I wanted everyone to kind of understand. As I pull up WebAI and it's lagging like crazy. So that's it. I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah, let's get it.